People often ask this question: when does the spark of life come into us? From where does that spark of God come into us? The question itself is wrong. The spark of God doesn't come into us. We come from the spark of God. We believe in the fairy tales of life. Don't we sing, "Happy birthday to you"? Were we born on that birthday? Ask your mother and she will tell you were alive, kicking in her womb days before you were born. We were actually born 9 months and 9 days before our birthday. We were conceived 280 days, 40 weeks before that birthday. And it's not then that the spark of God came into us, but we came from the spark of God. We came from that divine soul that caused life. Think about it. Our mother and father, when they copulate, does it always happen that the sperm and the egg fertilize to create a zygote, a life? No. It is not in the hand of man to create life. Life is in the hands of the divine. It is only when the divine will happens that life happens. It is only when there is that moment of divinity that the two cells of man and woman fertilize to become life in a zygote. We come from the soul. We come from the particle of God energy. We are created from that. And this is not a fairy tale. Even science will agree. First, that one particle, barely visible to the human eye, that particle called a zygote, is conceived. That has no brain, no heart. It has nothing. It is just a cell of human life. What is that cell of human life? It is the power of the divine. That cell multiplies. Who makes it multiply? It is all the magic of divinity. That cell multiplies and multiplies. The zygote becomes the embryo. And then eventually the brain, the heart, the kidney, the lungs, they are formed. All this is done without the intervention of man. Man has nothing to do in the creation of life. Life is created by the Creator. And we must remember that this is a fairy tale to believe that the power of God comes into us, or the soul enters the child when it is 3 months or 4 months or 6 months. This is a fairy tale. If the power of the soul was not there, there would be no life. Life happens only when a mind and ego, the me carrying its karma, is gifted a womb to redeem its karma. Only when the power of the soul, the power of God decides, then only the mind and ego, me, is born as a zygote, conceived as a zygote, to be then created, conceived, developed, and finally born into a little baby. Unfortunately, we believe in the fairy tales. We don't ask, investigate, and realize the truth. We don't realize that that power of God is the very beginning of our conception, our life. That we are that power of God It is that power of God around which our body is created. One day this body will grow. It will decay, get diseased, it will die. And people will say, he passed away. When there is death, there is no breath. The power of God, the soul departs. And people burn us. No, they don't burn us. They burn our body because we have departed. It's so simple, isn't it? That we are not this body that dies. If I was alive, would you burn my body? No. Realize that I was never this body. I will never be this body. I was that power of God which created life. And when that power departs, there is death. So don't ever think when the power of God and from where the power of the soul comes into us. The power doesn't come into us. We come from that power.